Pseudo Legendaries! Some of the most powerful Pokemon known to trainers. But what does the Croneo region have to offer in terms of Pseudos? Croneo being my region based on Scotland and a touch of Canada. The Pokemon in this video more so represent Scottish culture, fauna, and mythology. The art for the whole line was done by KaiFakeMonzar over on Instagram. Meet Princess! The name comes from prince or princess and hiss. The prince-princess part of the name is a theme I wanted to include. It was basically a remnant from an early design stage, but I feel like it gives a unique aesthetic for the line, and also references Scotland's royal history, spanning many centuries if not millennia. She wasn't just the Queen of England, you know. It is also a snake, which I'll touch on later, especially how that relates to its poison type. Another element of this design is its cute little face, but don't be fooled by its adorably sad appearance. Those aren't real tears, those are venom sacs. That was Kai's idea, and it's brilliant. Also, it's got a skull pattern fitting of the poison type. Its tail is also a baby rattle, referencing rattlesnakes. Not particularly fitting of the region, but works for the design. Princess evolves into Tate, the name being a portmanteau of poison and potentate. The latter being another word for monarch, specifically an autocratic one, which works for this mon, as autocracies are the ones where rulers have absolute power, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. And this appears to be a sly little brat of a snake. The reason it's a snake is twofold. Firstly, it works with where this line is going, and secondly, it's based on the adder, the only venomous reptile found in Scotland, hence the poison typing in this line. Gone are the fake tears, replaced now with a smug confidence. Its cheek pouches don't need to secrete poison nor resemble fake tears, nor does it feel it needs to hide, and has a similar neutrally coloured pattern. It has a crown as well as what was already on its neck, but now it's silver because it's still second best. The more neutral colours from a design standpoint prevent it looking too busy or weighted, while also being able to be added onto with the evolutions. You heard me right, evolutions plural. Well, I say evolutions, it's still one Pokemon but 3 different forms of it. They all pretty much have the same evolution method, i.e. they have to be at least level 50, and all holding a different item. This Pokemon, that I'm calling Serpedon, has its name come from serpent, adder, and don, to add authority, and it sounds a bit like Abaddon, which is Hebrew for destruction and doom, which gives the right foreboding nature I wanted in this mon. If your Tate reaches level 50 while holding a Thunderstone, it evolves into the Poison Electric type Thundercrown Form of Serpedon, based on the Bathier. Something you're going to notice about these 3 forms is that generally there's a silver to gold scheme going on, but also they are going to be based on mythological serpents from Scottish mythology. In order to get the gist of what's going on and why the Thundercrown form is the way it is, look at the etymology of the Bathier. It's actually Scottish Gaelic for serpent, lightning, and thunderbolt. This serpent is also known as the Bathier Niamh, meaning venomous serpent. Another name this serpent goes by can be translated to venomous serpent, and yet another being adder, which is kind of perfect if you ask me. The Bathier was described to be the largest and most deadly serpent, where if you were stung by it, you'd need to reach the nearest lock before it does. Otherwise you're doomed. As for the elements the artist and I thought would be cool, the crystals from before are now supercharged with electricity. There's also a ball at the end of its tail, kind of like a spherical magnet or a plasma globe to concentrate its electric powers. If your Tate is holding a metal coat while at level 50, it will evolve into the poison steel type Armorcrown Form of Serpedon, based on the Siren Croin, another giant mythological Scottish sea serpent. According to myth, it can disguise itself as a silver fish. I don't think it means a silverfish. I think it means a literal fish made from silver. Either way, I thought it'd be cute if its tail had a silver fish at the end. This tie to silver, a metal, is what gives it the steel type. It made sense to try and make this snake armoured as a result. It has a more iron-like colour to make it more evil looking, but more on that at the end. The spikes add to this too, but metal spikes are cool things that just make sense. Finally, if your Tate is holding a dragon fan while at level 50 or higher, it evolves into Serpedon's Empirecrown Form. It is based on the Stoorworm from Orkney folklore, which is kind of like the Scottish version of the Midgard serpent. The story goes that a king whose kingdom was under threat by the Stoorworm was advised that giving a weekly sacrifice of 7 virgins would stave off the beast. The king rightfully went, "Screw that. If anyone can just kill this thing, you can have my daughter's hand in marriage and this cool magic sword I have." A lad named Asapatl slayed it. As the Stoorworm died, its teeth fell out, becoming the islands of Orkney, Shetland, and the Faroes, and its body became Iceland. so I wanted it to have sharp teeth to reference this, as well as using the dragon fang as a sort of nice little reference. I also wanted the tail to be based on Loki's scepter as depicted in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Since there is a Norse connection, Loki is tied with snakes, including the Midgard serpent, of which he is the father, and the design of the scepter really works as being incorporated into the tail of a snake. Its eyes are deep in colour, and its tongue is forked, due to those also being descriptions of the beast. Also, this time it doesn't really have any armour, and its crown is minimal. This is so it could focus more on offenses. It is a vicious beast after all. The dragon typing is for a few reasons. For one, it being called a worm is a common descriptor of dragons in Scottish myth, but for other more loose reasons, the myth gives me the vibe of your stereotypical hero slays the dragon and marries a princess legend because, well, it is. The last reason is that we do technically have a Pokemon based on the Midgard serpent already. Zygarde. That connection would make a shared type logical, and Dragon fits it more than ground for the reasons stated. Also, I'd argue this mon has the right to exist despite Zygarde. Zygarde overall is based on Loki's children, including the 50% form's Midgard serpent, while Serpedon's Empire form is based on the Storeworm. Different myths, but very related, I admit. So you may be asking, why do they all look evil? Well, snakes are scary, especially giant venomous ones, but also an idea Kai and I had was to give them the theme of different evil alignments. Thundercrown is neutral evil, Armorcrown is lawful evil, Empirecrown is chaotic evil. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed these. Don't think Croneo is about to end, there's many videos left, and many mon within them. I just had leads floating around and decided to show them off now. If you enjoyed this video, why not leave a like and subscribe? If you're interested, why not check out the Croneo region Instagram and my Discord server linked below. If you want to go the optional extra mile, consider joining my Patreon. You get exclusive perks as well as seeing a lot of mon early. You'll even get to see a sneak peek at what will appear in my next video. Anyways, I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.